Welcome back to the Pain Game. Today we're going to talk Darren Till versus Tommy Fury / John Fury, of course. But first, some more important and quite serious news in the combat sports world. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. It's come out now. It was rigged. I can't believe it. You know, you have to question the validity of boxing these days when you can't trust two professionals to get in the ring and do their best against each other. And instead you find out Mike Tyson pulling his punches, not trying to hurt Jake Paul. Absolute disgrace. I thought better of them. You know, I really did. I thought that Mike Tyson, especially, Iron Mike, he was just going to go in there and knock Jake clean out. But here he is, not trying. I'm so disappointed in him. But you don't need to take it from me. Let's look at the footage. Some boxing genius has put this together so we can all expose it. Thank God.
This fight was most definitely rigged. Here's some evidence you might have missed. Tyson was doing fantastic at the beginning, landing some big shots and knocking Jake around the ring.
Was he doing fantastic at the beginning? Is that a word that any one of us would have used? Tyson's doing fantastic. What they've done here is they've combined one,
landing some big
two, that didn't even land. He goes landing some big shots. Didn't even land.
Shots and knocking Jake around
and that
the ring.
one. 3 of the 18 punches that Mike Tyson landed in the entire fight have been clubbed together to illustrate the point that Mike Tyson was landing at will in the first round and then just sort of decided, no, I'm going to pull back now. But we'll let him go.
But that changed when Paul clenched with Tyson. It's alleged he whispered into Tyson's ear to cool it.
It's alleged by you, the person making this video. No one... What the fuck are we talking about? I fucking love the internet. It's so dumb. It is so dumb. Particularly people who don't watch boxing, who tuned into this one fight, the one fight of the year that they're probably going to actually watch live, and haven't got a clue.
The message was confirmed received by Tyson with the affirming tap on the back.
That tap on the back is just more like a boxer going, all right, get off me. You're reading into this a lot. We'll explore why in a minute.
After that moment, Tyson became a stick in the mud.
Tyson couldn't use his fucking legs because he'd run out of the whole 2 minutes of energy he had in them. He became a stick in the mud because he's 58 years old. You fucking idiot. He tripped on the way to the fucking ring. His legs weren't working before he even started moving.
Standing directly in front of Paul with no more aggressiveness to him.
He wasn't able to be aggressive. He had no energy because he's 58 years old. People just think because you've got like muscles in your upper body that you should just be able to do whatever. And age isn't a factor. Fucking absolute clowns.
Like here, for instance, Tyson can see the right hand plain as day and makes no attempt to slip it.
No attempt. Just, he's not even trying. Do you know why he made no attempt? Because it's coming at him at light speed. That video slowed down, you fucking idiot. Imagine watching like other sports in slow-mo, like tennis or whatever. That ball's flying at light speed, slow it down. Didn't even try and stop it there. Didn't even return serve. Well, actually, because in fucking normal speed, it's at 90 mile an hour, you fucking idiot. Watch a game of football in slow motion. Keeper didn't even try and save that. Do you know what I'm saying? The internet's so dumb.
My next reason is Tyson was definitely pulling his punches.
Oh, God, it's great, isn't it? It's great. Let's just watch this again.
Tyson was definitely pulling his punches.
So you know what happened there? Tyson went to throw, but because throughout the entirety of the fight, whenever Tyson showed any aggression, Jake Paul would use his 27-year-old legs to move away and get the fuck out the way. Tyson, being the experienced old head that he was, knew at that moment, I'm not going to connect here, and I've got to hold on to every single little shred of energy I've got, because I'm 58, so I'm not going to throw this time because it's not going to land, and therefore it's just going to deplete me, and there's going to be no reward. Clown.
Tyson looked as if he was struggling to hold back and not throw punches at Paul.
I love it. I love it. He's just struggling to hold back. Mate, he's having a fucking mare in there. He's got a 27-year-old kid who's whizzing around the fucking ring, popping at him, and he can't fucking do anything back. He's discombobulated because he's taking some massive shots as well. Struggling to hold back. No, he's struggling in the fight, you fucking moron.
Here's a perfect example. Tyson deflects the shot off his shoulder, comes up...
Did he deflect the shot off his shoulder? What the fuck? Are you even making the points correctly for a start?
Here's a perfect example. Tyson deflects the shot off his shoulder.
I mean, it looks like it hits him on the side of the head, so I'm not sure what you're watching.
Comes up in perfect position to land a counter right hand, but does...
Jake is moving away, you fucking moron. And he was out of the road. It would have been a waste of time to throw that. Again, he's doing this all in slow motion as well.
Does nothing. Very uncharacteristic.
Uncharacteristic? What, from? The footage you've got of Mike Tyson when he was 30 years old? Yeah, pretty uncharacteristic for a man who's double his age when he was in his prime to not be able to behave the same way. That's uncharacteristic, isn't it?
And my final reason is Tyson, biting his glove. The reason he was doing this was to remind himself not to throw punches and let Jake control the pace.
It's more likely he's got a fixation of doing that, and I think it's a way of coping with pain. When you're getting the brakes beaten off you, which Tyson was taking some big shots in there, it's a way of dealing with it. More likely. I don't actually know that. That's pure speculation. You know, bite down on the gum shield, as they're saying, when things are getting rough. And the saddest thing about this video, as laughable as it is how many people have used that as like, see, I was really right. Tyson would have won the fight if he wanted to. He just didn't want to. My prediction was right. I'm not an idiot for thinking a 58-year-old could beat a 27-year-old. And look, this fight was sad. It was hard to watch. And no one wants to believe that their hero, Mike Tyson, is shot. But he was shot 20-odd years ago. I was trying to tell people this. My prediction was so spot on. It was unbelievable. And one of the only good things to come out of this fight is the amount of times over the years where I've passed judgment on fights and fighters and had my opinion, which everyone's entitled to, but apparently not me, because I wasn't an actual boxer, is what they were saying to me. Oh, what do you know? You're not a real fighter. The amount of big-time boxing experts, former boxers, former legendary boxers even, who got this completely wrong. It just proved that you can't talk to me about this whole you're not a boxer and all that bullshit. Don't give me that anymore, because we're not doing that ever again. Not after so many of them open their mouths and saying Mike Tyson will win this fight, can win this fight, all of that shit. We're not doing that anymore. Every single time anyone ever says this, I'm just going to go, here's my case, right? Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. There's my case. Now shut the fuck up. Thank you. Another thing we learned from this fight is to all the old heads out there who still think they can go, young men will fuck you up, boy. Yeah, you will get your ass beat by a young man out there, because there's still a lot of old dudes who still think they can hang. And look at Mike Tyson, right? Mike Tyson is tougher than all you guys, could knock all you out, and he got his ass handed to him by a 27-year-old. Know your role and shut your mouth, old man. Okay, I'm quoting The Rock here, fuck me. It's funny because I had an uncle who once sort of thought he could have a scrap with me, and I remember thinking, do you know how close to death you are, you stupid fucking idiot? I would kill you. You know, I sort of showed a bit of mercy on him, but now I think next time I see him, I'm just going to give him a bit of that just to say, do you know what? This is how we're treating old men now. We're going Jake Paul and all you motherfuckers. I don't know why this is... I was devastated the other day, but I'm saying the funny side of it now. Fuck me. And funny old thing, since the fight, a lot of pro boxers who actually idolize Mike Tyson have called Jake Paul out because they just really want to get their hands on him for a bit of revenge, including Daniel Dubois, who said, you want a shot at the fucking heavyweight title? I'm like, wow. What's happening? How's this come this far? I look at that, and you got like Beterbiev, Ryan Garcia, Jake Paul. He's got the world on strings right now, and that's the problem with this. Is it was a genius business move. As shit of a fight as it was, he's got the whole world of them talking about him in the palm of his fucking hand, and he is laughing. Imagine Daniel Dubois in a ring with Jake Paul. Fucking hell, that would be brutal. No offense to Jake, but who wouldn't get their ass kicked off Daniel Dubois right now? Basically Alexander Usyk, and that's it. That's not a good idea. That's never, ever, ever happening. Beterbiev as well, another one who would just, absolutely just ravage Jake Paul. I don't know why Jake Paul wants to be a world champion. I don't know on what level they're going to make that happen. I think one of the boxing organizations is talking about making some bullshit belt for him with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I mean, who gives a shit about that? That's not a real world title. If you want to win a world title, let's win a world title. Let's actually make a go of it. And Ryan Garcia, actually, I could see the Ryan Garcia fight happening because he is so undersized. And them two together would make millions. And the press conferences would be amazing. It would be beautiful, right? Business-wise, they'd absolutely kill it. What the fuck it would look like in the boxing ring, I have no idea, because obviously skill-wise, there's a huge discrepancy. But size-wise, there's also a huge discrepancy. And Ryan Garcia is crazy enough and game enough to get in there and do it. But I really don't know what move Jake Paul makes next, because the walls are closing in slightly in that people are really fed up with him not taking on real challenges, and they want to see somewhat of a challenge. And he's got a real chance here to capitalize on all of this hype, all of this fame, by delivering a really exciting fight next. He can't serve up another Mike Perry. It's got to be something serious where there's jeopardy there. If he doesn't, he's going to piss this momentum away. But it's whether or not he wants to take on a legit challenge. That's on him. And I've never felt more like this is the time that they should make the Jake Paul versus KSI fight. Jake Paul is really running out of options, and KSI because they've both been defeated by Tommy Fury. They know that the level is going to be similar, and they know that the attention would be massive. The issue is Jake Paul has piled on so much weight, and to be honest, I think the reason being is he's actually naturally a light heavyweight fighter. But he knew if I move up to cruiserweight about 200 pounds, I can pluck guys who fight around 170 in MMA, like Mike Perry, Nate Diaz, bring them up. I'm going to have a natural power advantage. So even if the skill level is, fairly close, which it shouldn't be, because at this point I feel like he's been in boxing long enough to be better than them, he's going to have a massive power advantage on them and a size advantage on them anyway. So he's setting everything in his favor. But KSI is not going to bend to that because he doesn't need the money the way Nate Diaz and Mike Perry do. The issue for KSI, as much as I love the guy, right, and I think he's a great fighter at this level, Jake Paul has now just pulled off a huge move and set himself above every single influencer boxer out there in terms of the name value that he's got now. In fact, he's one of the faces of boxing, and we can't even deny it. As much as people can say he's a shit fighter or whatever you think about him, he is a huge name in boxing. The issue is he's not really in the sport of boxing, Jake Paul, if you think about it. Like, the business of boxing, yes, he's putting on big fights, but the sport of boxing is you're in the rankings, you're climbing the rankings, you're trying to get a title shot. He's not climbing any rankings, in my opinion. He's not even trying to do anything in the traditional sense of the word. He's just putting on big fights. And if he wants to continue doing that, that's absolutely fine. But this isn't really the sport of boxing, if you get what I mean. And as long as you look at it that way, I don't think you can be that offended by Jake Paul, aside from the 58-year-old boxing opponent. But I just think that the weight issue is going to continue to be a problem to make the KSI Jake Paul fight. And I sort of gave up on that a long time ago. But I think Darren Till versus Tommy Fury might be where the next Jake Paul opponent comes from. Jake Paul, the thing that everyone labels at him is that the one time you fought a proper boxer, you lost, which isn't specifically true because he did fight like Ryan Boland or whatever he was called, but no one had heard of them, so no one really cared anyway. But this Tommy Fury thing is the thing he needs to get back so that he can sort of talk himself up more and be like, well, I did beat everyone I've faced. But Darren Till might win that fight. It's an exciting matchup. Misfits have really delivered something I think they really need it as a company. Obviously, I do a little bit of help with them in matchmaking, but in the last year, it's been dry. It's been hard. You know what I mean? They've made some very good, fights on Misfits, but not big name fights like this. This is a massive fight. Every MMA fan knows who Darren Till is. He's still in his prime, and Tommy Fury is a big name in the UK. And together, as we've seen in the press conference, I'm going to watch it. It looks like it really kicked off. Now, here's Darren Till against Robert Whittaker. This was a really high-level MMA fight. And this is where we've seen some of the best of Darren Till. That elbow to the jaw there, dropping Robert Whittaker, former middleweight champion. And I thought this was a razor-close fight. And this is where we're seeing, look, on the feet, Darren Till is one of the highest, look at that, one of the highest-level MMA fighters in the middleweight division. And you can see him just piling the pressure on here against Robert Whittaker. And, people generally don't do that. Robert Whittaker is, former world champion, only gets beaten by people who are going to win a belt, essentially. And this is him against Dricus du Plessis, the current middleweight champion. Now, he lost this fight, but look, he had some real moments of success and showed, Darren, on his day, is a problem for anyone, in my opinion. And I think that a lot of the crossover boxing fan base might not really recognize that. He's a tricky guy. He's a southpaw, and he's got a fucking lightning quick backhand, and he jumps in and closes the distance unexpectedly fast. And he's also not going to be struggling with the size of Tommy Fury, in my opinion, in the way KSI did, who was really moving up a lot of weight to make that fight. And Darren is going to be able to match the strength of Tommy Fury generally. And Darren's training in a good gym in Liverpool. I think it's the same gym as the Smith brothers go to. So he's getting good work. And I'm hopeful for him that he can have a second wind of his career in boxing, make a good bit of cash. And ultimately, if he wins this fight, he's putting himself right in the biggest fights and he's going to make a lot of fucking money. But Tommy ain't a walkover, like we've seen. He's beaten Jake Paul and KSI. So at this level, Tommy is respected.
He's not washed up. He's not old. And he's going to come to fight. That's what we know about Darren Till. He's got a set of bollocks. And I want to fight because my previous fight was too much hopping around and star jumping. So I want a proper fight. And
so the point they're making about Darren being in his prime, when you look at all of the MMA guys who've bounced into the boxing ring, Anderson Silva was old as fuck. Woodley was not in his prime by any stretch of the imagination. Nate Diaz was shot to bits, if we're being honest. Mike Perry was never that good, in my opinion. He's a good effort in a BKFC boxing ring, but what is the level in BKFC, truthfully? And it is a different sport, a very different sport. Darren is the one who really recently was fighting Dricus du Plessis, right? So he's got every right to feel like he is going to be a bigger threat to the likes of KSI, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury than any other MMA fighter so far.
No one's wanted to fight me for 2 years. I've asked for everyone, and my fucking manager said, fight Tommy. I said, just come back to me with a contract. I signed it. I don't know how much I'm getting paid. I don't know how many tickets I'm getting. I'm not asked. I'm coming here to obliterate Tommy on January 18th.
I just love that Tommy's been fairly respectful. And Darren, like, the word doesn't give a fuck is thrown around a lot. This man does not give a fuck. And that is why he is perfect for this scene. Because, like I said, for the last year, Misfits, although they put on some really nice boxing matches, as a spectacle, obviously there's been no KSI. We've not had drama. We've not had a character to hype fights up. Darren is going to bring it, and it's been desperately needed.
I'm going to obliterate him. I am. Like, I'm going to fucking absolutely do a number on him. I'm going to walk him down and obliterate him. I am.
This is the funny thing is Darren is going to go straight forward. And he's not going to be stupid about it, but he is going to put some pressure on. And obviously, in the KSI fight and the Jake Paul fight for Tommy Fury, I feel like both KSI and Jake Paul knew that Tommy was going to be their biggest test, and they treated him like it. I don't think Darren is going to treat him with as much respect as what they did. And that could mean we get a much better fight than what we got, because the Jake and KSI fights with Tommy Fury, while they did big numbers, they could have been better on the eye. I think we're going to get a definitive winner and a finish, because I just don't expect Darren to hold back.
And he knows it. I can tell he's swallowed it already, so, you know, it's just one of them.
Listen, Darren, you got to walk into the firing line, mate.
Oh, no.
And everyone I've sparred from the Olympics who's turned over pro, it's different watching me on the television.
Well, at the end of the day, if I can't beat it, I'll just kick you in the face in there. How about that?
Look at that face when someone says, yeah, if I'm not winning, I'm just going to fucking head kick you. This is good from Darren, though. Not enough of this goes on prior to a fight where if an MMA fighter's coming over to the boxing world, they don't talk like this. You should be acting confident, because if this wasn't in a boxing ring, we know how this would go. Let him know. You got to get in his head best you can.
That's not going to happen, Darren.
Well, it obviously is. How are you going to stop?
Because we're eating the cage now in a boxing ring, and you're going to find out that boxing is very different.
If I'm losing that fight,
to
I'll
MMA.
just kick you straight in your face.
Listen,
you won't know what
you
to
kick me straight in the face. Well, that's it. It's going to be a proper fight then, isn't it?
But then I'll win, because I'm a proper fighter.
Well, you're not
a boxer.
You're not
I don't walk into rooms. I don't walk in a room
seen-
like this and see boxing and go, shit.
Darren.
I walk in, no one in here is a threat to me. Not one
did you come
person
over?
in this room.
So why come over?
Security, you, your dad are not a threat to me.
I fucking love it, son. Come on! Darren Till has arrived. I'm rooting for Darren because I really feel like he was rushed in his UFC career. We were seeing the tail end of Bisping's career. We needed a great British star, and this was just prior to the likes of Paddy the Baddy and Tom Aspinall coming in. And I think the UFC were like, fuck me, we need a replacement for Bisping. Let's go. He was pushed really quickly, and my God, he made it to a fucking title fight, and he was having a fucking good go. He shouldn't have been rushed so quickly. I think if they'd taken their time with him, things such as his knee injuries wouldn't have happened, and maybe he'd still be in the UFC now, higher up in the division. But whatever happened for a reason. And I just hope he can actually make life right for himself. You know what I mean? Earn a bunch of money. And I love the way he's talking.
I'm an MMA fighter, so
Why
if I
come
wanna
over
kick
there?
you
Why-
or elbow you in the face, I will.
Why
And no
come over
one
to
can
boxing?
do anything about it.
Why come
How
over to
about that?
boxing? Listen, Darren,
And
just
if
be
you
happy.
forgot I sparred your brother. I sparred your brother Tyson and treated him like a baby.
Yeah, it's fine.
So if I'm in that fight and I'm losing, I'm going to go, right, I'm kicking him in the face now.
He's dropping bombs, this guy. So, for those who don't know, Darren once did a spar with Tyson Fury. Let me pull up the footage. Here's Darren here, big Tyson in front of him. And, I mean, look, it's a totally different form of fighting, innit? And you can see Darren throwing, like, he's not throwing hard here. I mean, I think that he goes in for the takedown, and obviously he gets it. Tyson, he's not built like other heavyweights, right? His lower body is not, stacked like an Anthony Joshua or Daniel Dubois. Got him down easy. And like Darren's saying, right? He's the experienced MMA fighter. He did what he wanted there.
And you ain't going to do shit.
So,
I'll look at KSI. I'll say,
mate.
KSI,
Hold on.
find me all my money, because I'm not even asked. I'm not asked about the money.
Right.
I'm not asked about anything. I'm there to obliterate you.
This is chaos. I fucking love it.
But when that doesn't work, and you say you're going to pull out
What do
a
you
kick,
mean when
what
that
good's
doesn't
that going
work?
to be?
So
What
much
good's that
supposed to
going to
give you
be?
the shit as low kick, Evan. You were fucking crawling around,
Yeah, but
baby.
Darren, mate, we ain't in the cage.
I know, that's why I'm saying.
this
If I'm
is a
losing
fist
the
fight.
fight, I'm just going to go boom and kick you in the face. That's...
What's that going to
Oi,
do?
listen,
What's
pig's
that going
eyes.
to do?
Oi, pig's eyes. I was going to be respectful to you, but oi, pig's
Shut up,
eyes.
Little John. Little John, be quiet.
Listen,
John's looking kind of stylish, by the way. You know what I mean? He's looking like he's ready to make a comeback.
John, you could leave my son Tyson's name out of your mouth.
What?
Leave his name out of your mouth. You're good enough to
I'm
suck
being
his
real.
dick, mate.
Tyson come to spar me.
This is on DAZN. He just said he isn't good enough to suck his dick. Fuck me. This is a proper press conference, man.
I treated him like a baby.
Yeah,
So
don't wait,
how's
idiot.
Tommy?
You couldn't treat me like a
Little
baby.
John, shut your mouth, Little John. You're
Pig's
shut
eyes.
John.
Pig's eyes.
Hang on, no one's seen you since you took bladder Tyson. Where have you been? Go back to where you fucking came from, mate.
Pig's eyes.
Fucking hell, you got to laugh out of the crowd there. He said, no one's seen you since you said bladder Tyson. It is true, he has been a bit MIA. Where's he been?
Pig's eyes.
Shut up, Little John. Shut up,
eyes.
Little
It's
John.
fine,
Shut
'cause
up.
all this bullshit
How
talk goes
could
out
you
the window.
fight with a
It
set
goes
of
out
eyes
the
like he's
window.
got?
Lad,
It goes out the window
lad,
on the
how's it
18th.
What,
It goes out the window on the 18th.
I've just said what I'm going to do.
It goes out the window on the
All right, mate,
18th.
Sam.
So
What are you
talk all
actually
you
gonna
want.
do, Tom?
I'll be seeing you on the 18th.
Don't disgrace Liverpool, but all this bullshit. We've come here to respect you.
Cut the bullshit.
And you know
Little
what?
John, be
you're
quiet, Little
disgracing
John.
your city, mate.
Little John
I
Floyd,
know a lot of
shut
good
your
people in
mouth.
Liverpool, and you're tending not to be one of them, pal. I know some good people in Liverpool, and I tell you what, you are a disgrace to
Listen, I'm
Liverpool
a
and
proper
your behaviour.
cunt. I'm a cunt and I'm an arsehole.
Are you?
Yeah,
You're
honestly,
lucky
I
you
am.
This is the thing, right? A lot of pro boxing fans will look at this and go, oh, God. Do you know how boring pro boxing press conferences are? Let's be real. They're fucking shit. Now, I'm not saying that this is exactly the way boxing press conferences should be, but fuck me. It makes you want to watch the fight more, which is actually the point in a press conference. And I really wish a lot of pro boxers would look at Jake Paul, would look at Darren Till, and you might say they can't fight as good as we can. Fair enough. But the point is, make yourself a fucking name. Build the anticipation for a fight. And as much as Darren's stepping the line, yeah, he's making people want to watch this.
Cunt's face, I know that. And two
Little
pigs
John,
eyes stuck on it.
shut up. You haven't been seen since you could batter
you.
Fury. Go back to where you came
pig's
from.
eyes.
Do you know what happened here? To be fair to the Fury lads, right? They've came here thinking, we're going to just be respectful because we think Darren Till is a good fighter. We respect that. Let's just put my best foot forward. Darren's known the whole time, I'm going to fucking rip this shit right up. And he's working.
It looks like the respect was very short-lived. Darren.
No. They swallowed it and I called it off.
Fuck you, pig's eyes.
We'll see you
We'll
see you.
Darren's really putting it on them here, and he's creating a narrative now that they've swallowed it, but they just weren't ready for what was going to come.
Hey,
You're an
Darren.
absolute...
Oh, John's gone for it. John's thrown. Look at Darren doesn't give a shit. He's straight out for it. Come on then. Beautiful. That's what we want. Chaos. Absolute chaos.
Hey, yo, 6 p.m., baby, get your tickets.
Do you know what? I think the tickets have already sold out, so this must have worked.
This is going to be fireworks. Tune in January 18th, the Co-op Arena in Manchester. It is all bad blood.
Fuck me. That was wild. So I'm definitely more excited for this fight after seeing that press conference. And I think if Darren Till can win, you can see he's an explosive character on the microphone. He is going to put himself right in those big fights with Jake Paul, KSI and the like. And if he does get those fights, you can see on the microphone, he's very good. He's very explosive. He's unpredictable. And that makes people want to tune in. And if you can imagine him on a Netflix card with Jake Paul or KSI on a big, huge Misfits card, he's going to keep drawing money. And there's just what he's doing, all boxers should be taking notice of. All right, he's going too far, but not enough of that has been happening. Even on Misfits fighters, your social media influencers, and too many of them are just sitting there and shitting it. You know what I mean? They're not actually bringing the heat, bringing the attention, bringing the drama. This is what Misfits is all about. And he's putting a lot of these fucking influencers to shame here. The reason being, to be fair to Darren, is he's real as fuck. He's a real motherfucker. He ain't actually just saying shit. Like, the guy could head kick you into next week. That could happen. So, fair play to him. But in saying all that, Darren isn't the pro boxer, right? Tommy technically is. So Tommy is going to be the favourite, but Darren's just ramped the fucking pressure up. And remember, Tommy's been out the ring for quite a while, as has Darren. He had like a little fight that it all went to chaos, basically, fucking hell. And I'm just interested to see what version of Tommy we get, because he's not used to having someone in front of him who is really going for the kill. We're going to find out a lot about Tommy in this fight, in my opinion. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the Pain Game if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.